AITA for refusing to let my half-sister see my, not her, mom before she dies and telling Dad he'll have to explain why to her before he loses her too. My dad cheated on my mom, and my half-sister, 11, is the result of his cheating. When my mom found out, she left my dad and filed for divorce. It was a really difficult time because Dad tried to get back with Mom using me, and he expected them to raise the two of us together, and we'd be one happy family where Mom got left raising the affair baby as her own. Instead, he raised her on his own because her mom left her with Dad once she was 2 months old. From the time she could talk, my dad was telling my half-sister my mom was hers. He had her calling Mom Mama when she was learning how to talk. He'd talk about her like she was our mom and not mine. Dad would punish me for telling him to stop. He told me she was my sister and I loved her, so I should want Mom to love her too. And then we'd fight because I told him I didn't love her and he was making things so much harder for me. I hated being at Dad's house because of his obsession with Mom being my half-sister's mom. Things got worse when my half-sister got older and she tried to seek Mom out. She wanted hugs and love, and my mom lost it with my dad a number of times because she didn't want anything to do with my half-sister, and she was repulsed by the idea of my half-sister calling her mama war mom. Eventually, Mom got primary custody of me, and I only had to see Dad for a few hours a month. I could tell my half-sister was confused by it all, but I never felt protective over her, and I never blamed my mom for wanting nothing to do with her. She made sure she saw her as little as possible so she wouldn't have her trying to interact or look for hugs and stuff. Things got worse 2 years ago when Dad ended up in the hospital for over a month and my half-sister went into foster care. Dad wanted Mom to take her, and Mom told him to fuck off. My half-sister didn't understand why she wasn't with me and Mom when Dad was sick. It was a whole thing, and Dad tried to make me responsible for my half-sister, but I refused to be. Dad's health has never fully recovered, and I refused to help, and so did my mom. Now she's terminally ill and spending her last weeks in the hospital, which is already freaking hard. But my dad told my half-sister she could visit, but Mom and me made sure they could get nowhere near Mom. But that hasn't stopped Dad from showing up with my half-sister and her getting upset because she know Mom's dying. Mom wouldn't even know now, but I refuse to disrespect her like that. So I warned Dad a couple of days ago that he'll lose her. Like he lost me if he doesn't find a way to tell her the truth and explain why she can't see Mom. He asked me why I have to be so hateful to her and why I couldn't allow her this one small thing. Then he brought up how his illness is still a thing and he could be dead before Mom or even a year from now, and would I really want this to be how my half-sister is treated? He tried to bring up what would happen to her, but I told him my only concern is my mom, and he needs to do better. He said I was evil, and my half-sister never held any responsibility in any of this. And he continues to show up with her AITA story, AITA, for refusing to make amends after my ex-best friend reached out to me. The other night I got an Insta message confused. I thought it might have been a mistake. Turns out it was my ex-best friend from high school, someone I hadn't seen or spoken to in years. She was hoping to meet up and talk about catching up. Hannah. We went to kindergarten together, and we're friends on and off throughout our school years. Our moms were friends, which made it easier. I thought she was my person, at least until the summer before senior year, and my mom got sick. She got real sick and passed away from it pretty quickly. Entering senior year, I was in a very dark place. Hannah was my rock, her and my other friends at the time. I was starting to feel better about myself, and when prom rolled around, I asked if we could go as friends. It felt right and things were really starting to feel okay again. Until she ditched me at prom. I guess her and a couple of our other friends had agreed to a slumber party without me. I felt so embarrassed. No, goodbye. No, sorry, we left you at the prom by yourself. It was even worse when I had to call my older sister to give me a ride home. I mean, I can still see her disappointment. Even worse, the principal walked me to the car because I had asked him to check if my friends had left prom. When I asked Hannah for an explanation at school, all she could say was she was tired. You've become toxic with your sadness. Every day you cry and whine about missing her. I loved your mom too, but you make it so hard to be around you. Honestly, I couldn't breathe after that. How does a kid respond to that? I ended high school with no friends, and it wasn't made easier that she never told her mom. Graduation day, Hannah's mom gave me flowers and thanked me for being her daughter's friend. I told her the truth about prom and walked away before I began to cry. I left those things behind me, and now she has the audacity almost 10 years later to try to patch things up. I can't. At least I don't think I can. We spent so much of my childhood being together that I just don't know. She looks like she's done well for herself, so maybe she's changed, but I was really hurt, and I don't think I recovered from it. This turned into a really long vent post, sorry.